you don't mind what people are using if they're making the younger children. I'm quite Beale. I'm the Director of Education for the Raspberry Pi Foundation.
And when was the Raspberry actually first conceived?
In about 2006, Evan Upton, our CEO, realised there was an issue with kids and computing and graduates applying for computing courses and so on. So that's when the original conception and the idea that if you made a little low-cost computer, it would really, really help young people get into computing.
I got interested in programming through things like the Spectrum and the Commodore 64 and the VIC-20 and the old BBC. Is this similar type of idea for programming?
I think that the ethos, there's definitely a very strong link. Evan Upton learned to program on a BBC Micro, I learned on a ZX Spectrum, and I think a lot of people involved in the project really do believe that that's how you learn and how you become a proficient computer scientist or creator or maker. You've got to have this ownership of the computer. This is yours. You can have a play with it. It's low risk. Nobody's going to say, don't do this, don't install that. So I think it strongly harks back to those days when we were doing fantastically creative stuff.
The unit has been used for space exploration, it's been used for underwater. What's the most strangest thing you've seen it used for?
Strangest thing, I do think the high altitude ballooning is something that it's weird in the sense that this used to be something that only real experts would get involved in, and now actually you're finding primary schools with a bit of help sending balloons into their space and little teddy bears at 40 kilometres parachuting back down to Earth. It raises a smile, but actually what's behind that is science and meteorology and tech, and it's just fantastic educational tool. So people are doing like crazy things with it, but underneath there is this brilliant problem solving and making background.
Do you feel computers have lost their soul up to now, and this is putting a bit more of a soul back into computers?
Yeah, if you could put it that way. The soul, you can pick up the Pi and you can sort of play with it and just think, this is an interesting piece of kit, what can I do with it? If I pick up a tablet or something that's quite locked down, a shiny piece of aluminium and glass, and it's something to use and it's great, but it doesn't make me want to just start fiddling about messing and experimenting. So I think putting the soul back into computing is definitely one way of looking at it. I think it's exciting and creative and fun. It's a fun thing to do.
Do you think the age of the old soldering iron and the old backstreet computer room is going to come back?
I think we're starting to see that. There's a really strong maker ethos in the States where they have science fairs at school, but they also have this maker community where they hold big shows and everyone makes like crazy stuff. And we're starting to see that in the UK. I would love to see that expand. The collaborative thing when everyone gets together with the soldering irons and all the bits and bobs, and gets together and thinks, what can we make? It's such a brilliant thing to do. It's a fun thing to do, and I think we are missing out at the moment. But it is starting to re-emerge.
Now, I've been talking about things like fixer-furs and things like that. Do you see this becoming a version of a fixer-fur when people can actually use this to actually adapt their pieces of kit and have a play? Yeah,
it is. It's because it's a general-purpose computer. It's really about, I have an idea in my head, and how do I make this thing? Well, things like the Pi are ideal for that sort of stuff. So it's general purpose. I've got a problem. I'm going to solve it. And it really is about tinkering and hacking and making. I think it just fits into that world absolutely perfectly.
Thank you, and very good luck with your project.
Thank you. I'm learning computing, that's good.